welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 9 down to 4. And here on my channel, we talk all things homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. So if that is something that interests you, hit that red subscribe button down there at the bottom. And we would love to have you stick around and get to know us here. Maybe we can get to know you a little bit more down in the comments. So today's video, I am giving you my pizza soup recipe. Actually, it's not my recipe. It's a friend of mine's. She passed it along to me, and I have made a few changes to it over the last couple of years as we have enjoyed this recipe. I posted this on Instagram. It's probably been a month, maybe a month and a half ago, and I got a lot of questions about what was in it, what was in this recipe, can you post the recipe? So I thought I would just make a video. It's taken me a little time to get to where I could do that, but that's what we're gonna do for you today. It's a crock pot recipe, so it's easy for us on nights where we have gym, which is every night of the week. Or if you just wanna put something in the crock pot and just let it slow cook all day long, it's one of those good recipes. This is also a recipe that you can throw in a stock pot and cook in 30 minutes as well. I like to do it in the slow cooker. That way it develops a little bit more flavor, and then you can also have it cook without you being present. So first, what I'm going to start with is browning some meat. So I have my pan over there. Today I'm using pork. We raise all of our own pork here on our farm. We had a pig processed a couple of weeks ago, so that's what I'm using. You can use ground chicken, ground turkey, ground deer, ground beef, any kind of ground meat you want to use. Sometimes I will double this recipe and use 2 pounds instead of 1 pound, but today I'm just going to do 1 pound. I thought I had some extra deer meat, and it looks like we have eaten all our deer meat, so that means my husband needs to get on the stick and kill us a deer. But sometimes I will mix both pork and deer because that kind of balances out a little bit of the gamey taste of the deer and just adds a lot of flavor. We have pastured raised pork, and so it gives lots of flavor into the meat. So I'm going to start by doing that, and then as I'm doing that, I will talk you through the other ingredients that I'm going to be using. I did not pull my meat out in time to have it defrost, so I'm just going to do that in the pan. It's going to take a little bit longer for it to brown up, but oh well. So put it in here. I like to season any ground meat when I'm browning it up with salt and pepper, just to go ahead and flavor the meat. I can get that off, but I won't worry about it right now. So it would help if I turned on the actual stove top that I'm trying to cook on before I do anything. That would help. Whew, I'm rusty, guys. I am so rusty. I've told Daniel since we've moved here, I've had a hard time getting into the groove of cooking and baking and stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's moving me out of my environment. Just kind of mess with my noggin a little bit. This is the recipe. As you can see, I've made tons of changes to it. Each time I cook it, I will experiment with it and add a little something different, and so I just make a note and write that down on the side over here. Like I said, this came from a friend of mine. She passed it along when I told her that I was gluten-free, and she said her kids love this, so it's pizza in soup form. So what you're gonna need for this is the actual recipe calls for vegetable stock. I don't have any vegetable stock, so I'm using chicken broth. I use chicken broth probably 8 out of the 10 times that I make this recipe, and I think it is just fine. So you will need that. You will need a jar marinara sauce. I will show you what I do with this because my husband is very funny. He does not, he's very picky. If any of y'all that watch this that know him in real life, you'll know that he is picky about his food. He does not like chunky stuff, so I have to run this through a food processor. But I use not necessarily this brand. This is just the one that I have on hand. Sometimes I'll use the garlic and herb by Hunt's, the ones that you can get in a $1 can. I'll use that too. But this is what I have on hand. So you need that. You need a can of Bush's chili beans, the mild. If you want it spicy, you could get the medium or hot if you want to do that. The original recipe does not call for it, but I add garlic and onion powder to mine as well, along with some more oregano. We love oregano in our family. And the original recipe calls for bell pepper and onion. My husband does not like either one of those, so I don't generally add those in. I will add, one thing I don't have out here that I'll get out of the fridge in just a minute is pepperoni. So you cut up about 25 pieces of pepperoni and they go in here as well. You will need some mozzarella cheese to add on top of the soup at the end. I serve it with olives for the kid, me and the child that eats olives. And then we also will cook up some gluten-free pasta on the side and put it down in there as well. I've also served it with rice. So if I didn't have a gluten-free pasta, but you could do like crackers or anything like that. We just happen to like the gluten-free pasta. And if anybody is newly gluten-free, whenever you cook pasta, you don't cook it all the way. You definitely do not want to cook this to where it will fall apart. And to me, this brand is the best. So if you can have the corn, I think it's got corn in it. This one's made with corn flour and rice flour. So as long as you're not allergic to either one of those, you're fine. So that's kind of the rundown of that. This is probably not the professional way to do this. I know I'm probably going to have somebody scream like, you're supposed to let it completely thaw out before you do that. But sometimes you don't plan ahead and you just have got to get it done. So I'm going to try to do this and not make a mess. Probably should put on my apron too. That would help. Alright, while my meat is still working on browning up, I'm just going to go ahead and put some of the things in the crock pot that I can go ahead and put in, like the marinara sauce. If I can get it open. There we go. I'm going to run it through the food processor. See, Daniel, there is proof that I actually do this. Oh no. We've never done it before, but I probably would like to try it. Like maybe some Italian sausage would be good in this as well. All right, I'm gonna let that go in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and add my chili beans. You do not drain these. Where's my stuff? You don't drain these. You just juice everything into the pot. Drain the meat behind you real quick, and I'll be right back. Ground meat's going in. That right there. Turn that off, that way I don't burn myself. Alright. Let me see what else I need to add to this. I'm going to add a teaspoon of... do like a half a teaspoon of oregano. I'm going to let this cook for a little while, probably before we serve it, and see if I need to season it anymore. Since it does have the marinara sauce in it, I'm going to go a little lighter on the seasoning normally than I would normally do. Because like I said, sometimes I use that garlic and herb sauce from Hunt's. Ooh, hair's going crazy. So I added a half a teaspoon of oregano and a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. Those are my staples. All right, I'm gonna stir that in. Oh, I do need to add the pepperoni. This pot will serve our family for one meal. So if I want to try to stretch it and maybe get lunch the next day, or have it for another meal. Sorry, the dog. Have it for another meal, I will double the recipe. But I'm not sure if it would fit in this crock pot. And since I'm not going to sit here and babysit it, I'm going to basically put it in and we're going to leave. I'm just cutting my pepperoni into fourths and throwing it in. Recipe calls for about 25 slices, but you can do whatever you like, how much you think you like. Our family likes pepperoni. So when we come back, I'll give you a peek in that in just a minute. When we come back, I'm gonna boil up a little bit of pasta to go along with this and serve it up. And I'll show all that to you before we are done here on this video. So here's what it looks like after I've added everything into it. Like I said, if you wanted vegetables like onions and peppers in there, you could add that in. It's kind of like whatever your family likes. They really like the flavors of this. So it's basically just meat and beans. But anyway, so I'm going to let it hang out here while we're going to gymnastics. And it's got it cooking on high for about 5 hours. And I'll show it to you when we get back. Alright guys, thank you for joining me for today's video. I will post the recipe down in the general recipe or whatever is in this recipe. You can kind of tweak it ever how you would like to do that. It's a very versatile recipe, very forgiving, and very easy to do for sure. And it goes over very well in our house. Sorry, the kids have come back in from play. So thank you so much for joining us today for our video. If you want to see more videos from us, such as recipe videos and anything like that, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe so when you know we have more videos coming out. We're going to be doing some Christmas stuff pretty soon. So I hope that you come back and join us for that. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Bye guys.